Hey, welcome to our weekly health talk with your host, Alice Boswell, which is me. We have Jovi Marie, and then we have Dr. Feeney. I'm sorry, Dr. Phillips Zini, who we can't get on TikTok, but we're going to keep working on it and get him on there for everyone to see him. How's everyone doing today?
Very well.
Very well. Very well. All right. Listen, we have some great talks today. We're going to continue our talk with, because this is the first of the year, right? And usually at the first of the year, everyone is trying to lose weight or be healthy in some type of way. So we just don't want you to lose weight. We want you to have a great mindset. We want you to get out there and exercise. And we want you to use, we're going to use supplements. We want you to use supplements that's healthier for you, right? And Dr. Zini is going to be talking about that with us tonight. Is that right, Dr. Zini?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So where do you want to start off?
Well, where do you want to start off first? This is all on you. What do you want to do?
Yeah. So we've talked about weight reduction from an aspect of lifestyle, from an aspect of food choices, from an aspect of supplements. Um, Maybe we should dive a little bit deeper and get into the cellular level. And what I mean about that is I just came back from two conferences, actually. One in State Line, Nevada, which is South Lake Tahoe, where I gave a lecture and was part of another lecture talking about how supplements can help out with reducing the inflammation within the body. And then from there, flew down to Las Vegas and helped launch a new product that helps to detoxify the body. So that's a good place to start at the cellular level because nowadays people are surrounded and we live essentially in a toxic environment. So we're
Yes.
surrounded by things that create these free radicals. Free radicals are little chemical compounds that create inflammation in the body. They come from either the air we breathe, the water we drink, the foods we eat. Even when you're trying to be healthy and by eating certain foods, free radicals are going to naturally increase just because of what's called the metabolic process or the normal process within the body. Likewise, you're trying to be healthy and exercise, and even good exercise creates these free radicals. So, what do? You take supplements to help to, some people call it quelling the fire of these free radicals in the body. And the most potent antioxidant free radical type of scavenger that also helps to clean the liver is something called glutathione. Does that sound familiar to people at all?
I don't know what glutathione is.
Okay. So, interestingly enough,
Mm-hmm.
glutathione is used by people that are celebrities, athletes, uh, essentially anyone that could afford typically an infusion, because that's the gold standard uh, before now on to getting glutathione into your body. Glutathione helps the liver to detoxify. So again, because we live in this kind of toxic world,
Mm-hmm.
most people have a maybe not so much diseased liver, but it's not a healthy liver. So you may have heard a term like fatty liver or steatosis, which means that it's kind of an inflammation of the liver. But the most common term is a fatty liver. And it's because of a diet that's kind of gone awry or lifestyle that's kind of gone awry. And that's what glutathione does, is it helps to detox the liver so that this way your body can specifically work better. So people that could afford it, and because it's anywhere from 500 to 1,000, sometimes even more, for
Mm.
an IV infusion, would take this substance intravenously. Now we have a way to mist it in your mouth so that this way these little, what are called nanoparticles or lipid bubbles, can get through the small junction in your mouth. Thank you very much. So it's the upper right hand corner called glutamist. So this way you can mist it in your mouth and it gets absorbed within the lymphatic system and then goes directly into your liver because that's where the lymphatic system dumps into a big vein that goes into the liver. So now instead of going through an invasive procedure like an IV infusion, now you can just mist this into your mouth and get the same results of helping to detoxify the liver.
Mm-hmm.
The other big advantage is that it helps the little mitochondria. The mitochondria are kind of like the little energy plant within every cell of the body to create energy, to create something called ATP. So every cell needs energy, every cell needs ATP, so every cell in your body needs glutathione. And your body is constantly turning over cells. So you would naturally want to replicate or reproduce healthy cells. And it could be as many as 200 million cells in a minute. So that's why you want to reproduce and replicate these healthy cells on a constant basis. Kind of make sense?
It does make kind of sense. I have a question. Someone wants to know: are there any chemicals or preservatives in what you're speaking of?
No, they're all natural. And the only thing that we use as a vehicle is something that's called 10x Pure, which is our natural proprietary vehicle that is natural,
Mm-hmm.
that is based on a millennia, literally 1,000-year-old formula that has been proven to help stabilize things. So that's one thing. The other exciting thing about working at the cellular level is that instead of having this IV infusion maybe once a quarter, or if you can afford it, once a month, or if you're super rich, once a week, now you can do this on a daily basis because it's extremely affordable. So now instead of having to wait to have healthy cells replicate, now you can use it every day and have the cells replicate every day in a healthy manner.
Okay. All right. Once again, if you're interested in the products that Dr. Philip Zini is talking about or speaking about, you can actually go to wellbeingpath.myctfo.com. On Facebook is already there. On TikTok, once again, it'll be wellbeingpath.myctfo.com. If you have questions about it right now, go ahead and give us some questions because that's what Dr. Philip loves. He loves it. Someone is saying, hello, Dr. Philip Zini, Alice Boswell, and Joby Marie. Hello. How are you doing, Faith? How you doing? um, Once again, this is our weekly health talk that we have every week. And we're going to be diving more into other subjects as well. We're just finishing out the month for losing weight and natural supplements that you can actually use that will be good for you. I'm Alice speaking, and he's giving us his expert opinion is Dr. Zini, as you can see, he got on his scrubs today, y'all. Look at him. Look at him. He think he's special with the snow in the background. And he know he don't live by no snow. And then we have Jovi Marie, who's going to let her be talking about having doing exercise. Right. For some of us who don't like doing it in the first place, but
So
Jackson.
I did have a question
Yes.
from a pharmacist earlier today, because in Canada, everything is tightly regulated. So the question came about, how does glutathione help out in weight reduction? And the thought was by the pharmacist that it would help out with direct weight reduction. And unfortunately, it doesn't help out directly with weight reduction, it's indirectly. Because if we can get the liver healthier, if we can get the liver working better, that means now your insulin resistance is going to go down, your inflammatory markers are going to go down. So therefore, your body's not going to want to hold on to calories, hold on to fat. So therefore, it indirectly helps out. And that's why in that other picture you showed, we have kind of two bookend kind of products. The one on the lower right picture is called Xanthomist, and that's the one, that's the mangosteen product that has the xanthones, and that's the one that creates, there you go, that's the great picture of the bookends. That's the one that helps to create this caloric bypass, which means the body kind of overlooks the calories coming in. So you have the xanthomist creating this caloric bypass. You have the glutamist helping to clean out the liver, helping to detox the liver, helping to reduce the insulin resistance. And that's why it's a perfect bookend or kind of a suite of products to help people boost their goals going into the new year, which is usually trying to get healthier, weight reduction, reduce inflammation in their body, whether they know it or not. That's really what they should be doing in order to try to get healthier. Yeah.
I have a question. Is the liver the hardest working organ in the body other than the heart? And this is why doctors always stress the liver.
Yes and yes. And what I mean by that is mechanically, I mean, if you think about it, mechanically, the heart is a big muscle. So it does a lot of work every day, thank God, because when it stops, we kind of stop.
Right.
Whereas as far as from a metabolic workload, that's where it's thought that the liver may work harder, because it's the one that creates hormones and it creates proteins and it creates things that your body needs to metabolically be active. That's why you're right that physicians are really kind of encouraging people to look at their liver enzymes, to look at liver tests, to make sure that the liver is healthier. And I can't tell you how many people I've diagnosed with fatty liver, and once they got on a good lifestyle change, got on clean diets and healthy foods, some supplements to help restore the liver, they can get their liver working better. And fatty liver, unfortunately, can lead to something called cirrhosis. And cirrhosis can either lead to liver failure or liver cancer. So it's kind of a big deal.
Okay. Increase of water. Do we need to have increase of water when we take these supplements?
So in general, the mainstay of the body is water, because every metabolic process requires water. So if you don't drink enough water, then that means your body is going to try to pull it from other areas, from the cells, and as a result, the cells can't work as well or function as well. So a good rule of thumb, unless you have some underlying kidney disease, a good rule of thumb, or heart failure or heart disease. But anyway, in general, a good rule of thumb is half your body weight in ounces. So in other words, the average person supposedly weighs 150 pounds. That means they should consume about 75 ounces of water a day. And then if you exercise, then you're going to increase that anywhere from 10 to 20%.
Can you overdo? And this is just a question for me, Dr. Phil. So I don't, and I get ridiculous sometimes, of course. But can you actually overdo it with water when you drink too much? I know they say sometimes it's not good to drink to do too much of one thing.
You can, but it's deliberate. And where we see it is in individuals that have a shy bladder because they're going to do a drug test
Mm-hmm.
and they'll try to drink a lot of water rapidly. Would they ever get toxic? Probably not, unless, like I said, if you have kidney disease or heart disease, most likely you're not going to develop water toxicity.
Okay. All right. Once again, you are joining us. If you have joined us, we are the Weekly Health Talk crew. And I have speaking right now that you just heard from is Dr. Zini. He's the CTFO medical advisor in the functional medicine. I'm Alice, your host, and we have Coach Jovi Marie on with us as well. Jovi is actually going to come on and she's going to talk about being on a healthy side. So Dr. Zini may want to chime in on that as well. When we said a healthy side, we're talking about exercise and actually getting out there. Dr. Phillip gave us the Dr. Zini. I'm sorry, y'all. I go back and forth because I called him on the side, Dr. Phillip. But his name is Dr. Phillip Zini. Dr. Zini gave us the meat of it. Giovanna's going to make sure that the exercise and progress in that, and we're not going to like it, pretty much. What about Giovanna, right?
Right.
All right. So what are you going to give us this week?
So this week, I'm actually going to go back to basics and just being simple. The way I started my journey was simply walking. That's the main thing. You want movement in your body. You want to do the blood flow going around and helping you motivate yourself at least 5 minutes a day, every day. If you're just starting, if you can increase it a minute every week or even higher if you like, all depending on how you're starting, what your weight is too. When I first started my journey, I was at 295. So I would start with walking to the train station, going up and down the stairs. And then further, then I started also doing it in my lunch hour. So 30 minutes for my lunch, I started walking, and then I would have my lunch. So that's the main thing, is just movement of the body. I know last week I was going to go more deep and go technical.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just keep to the basics. The basics are very fundamental, and you want movement in your body. Once you start moving your body and making it a habit and being consistent with it, you start wanting to do also your HIIT workouts, like Dr. Phillips said last week. And that's the main thing. You want to do those hits. So my mom would always have this issue where she would walk, she couldn't move her hands when she was walking. So if you have that issue, stop in the middle of your walk and start moving your hands up and down, just so at least there's some movement and you also get your heart pumping, and then continue your walking. But yeah, move your arms, move your feet. If you want to march, even better. That's the main thing.
Walking.
Walking.
So I have actually, and this is probably a question for Dr. Zini, but I have actually started doing planks because I read that planks actually give you a full body workout and I don't have to do anything else. So is that true, Dr. Phillip?
Mhm.
So planks are an excellent exercise for the core. So it's going to concentrate on the abdominal muscles, the back muscles, and then secondarily help out the buttock and the thighs. Secondarily help out the shoulders and the upper back. Um, as far as an overall exercise, um, probably not, but everyone needs a good core. So it's a great core exercise. And to that end, it's wonderful to add that. And then jumping on to what Jovi said, I have to be a little bit concerned about where we live at because there is actually snow in the background. So people can't get out and walk. So if they can do something at a gym, walking on a treadmill, or if they have a stationary bike at home, or even if they have a treadmill at home, just as Jovi said, just move, just do some type of activity. I even have one patient, they have these little like stair step type things
I have
that
that.
underneath the desk. Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, again, anything that you can do to move is going to be a step in the right direction. And again, this is a journey and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we don't want people to sprint out of the blocks, get hurt, and then they fall back to ground zero or worse. So Jovi was spot on. Start out slow and gradually increase because we want people to be encouraged. We want people to be motivated. We want people to see little gains, little progresses along the way because that'll keep on motivating them and that'll keep on encouraging them. And that's what we're all about is incremental encouragement to help
Okay.
people kind of move along.
Okay. So basically, though, this is more mentally 80, we'll say 80-20, 80% mentally, 20% actually doing the do.
Yeah, unfortunately. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. And especially if you want to maximize how you burn fat, you want to do it first thing in the morning before you have breakfast. So this way your body is already in a fasting mode. Your body is already in that intermittent fasting, which another thing that we talked about in our lectures over the past week
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
is that intermittent fasting actually causes certain cells to die off. So it's actually good for cancer. So again, there's all these benefits with intermittent fasting. So you've been fasting overnight before you have breakfast, get out, do whatever type of activity it is. And as you're saying, Alice, that's where the mental part comes in because you have to get yourself out of bed, nice and warm and cozy, get yourself out of bed and get moving, and you'll be well rewarded with the benefits of doing that.
If you're going to do intermittent fasting, how many times a week can you do that? Because I'm pretty sure you can't do it every day.
So it depends on the length of time of your intermittent fasting. I mean, theoretically, it shouldn't really be that hard for people to intermittently fast at least 12 hours, right?
Okay.
Because most people have dinner before 7 o'clock. And if you're getting up and exercising first thing in the morning, you're probably not going to have breakfast until 6, 7 o'clock. So you've got 12 hours there.
Yeah.
So it's pretty easy to get a intermittent fast of 12 hours. Now, if you want to do a much longer fasting period, um, that's where some advocate maybe once or twice a week will be a 24-hour fast. But um, to be honest with you, I haven't seen a lot of literature for the things that we want to do where a 24-hour fast is going to be that much better. unless, again, you may have some cancer issues, or if you've hit a plateau and you're just trying to break through. Sometimes that's where you have to kind of shock the system, and that's where a 24-hour fast, doing that a couple of times a week, may kind of shock the system, kind of reset the metabolism, reboot it, something like that.
Okay. I have a question. When you take supplements on Xanthomest and then a new one that you just mentioned, some don't make me pronounce it. You know what I'm saying. Should we do a day or night?
So for the Xanthomest, if it's a first-time user, you want to load. So it's 4 sprays 4 times a day. And then for me, it's just a lot easier to use the spray at night. Same thing with the Glutamist. You want to load at least 4 sprays twice a day. And we have people using it up to 20 sprays, but they got kind of euphoric, or kind of, as one person told me, trippy, showing their age. But anyway, there's no harm, because remember, in my clinics, I used to do IV infusions, so you can't really overdose. But if you start off maybe 4 sprays twice a day, and then again, after about a week, then just go to the 4 sprays once a day, and both of those could be used at night. Because when you spray the side of the inside of your mouth or your cheek, it gets so rapidly absorbed that you really don't have to worry about doing anything else. Maybe refrain from having drink for 2 or 3 minutes, something like that, to make sure that you don't swallow anything. But again, it gets so rapidly absorbed, it should be okay. So that's the last thing before I go to bed.
Okay, and that's for both of them. They both get rapidly absorbed into your mouth, into your body. All right. But listen, we are winding down, and we want to thank Dr. Philip Zini for joining, and Joey Marie. They always giving us great information. We are always here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Time on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Instagram. And we're going to figure out a way to get Dr. Philip on there. Okay. We're just going to figure that out. But we're here next week, so we want you to join. Once again, send me an email to info@piecesofalice.com or piecesofalicelab.com at gmail.com. If you have a question, if we read your question, Dr. Philip answer, you will get this right here. And Dr. Philip can tell you about this. This is really good, especially if you're going to be exercising, right? And this is the muscle and joint relief cream. So we'll send you out a sample of the product. If you're interested in any of the products that we're talking about tonight, or Dr. Philip Zini talked about tonight, please go to wellbeingpath.myctfo.com. And you can find some more information there. If you still don't understand, come back next week and ask questions, and Dr. Zini will be happy, right, to answer the questions.
I will be. And because we just launched the Glutamist, they're offering a special promotion, not only on the Glutamist, but on that one picture that you showed of the 4 products. They're calling that the Vital for Life packet. It's the one with the Xanthomest. Next one, maybe.
Yeah, it's a video, so it's gonna yeah.
So it's the Xanthomest. It's the what we call the immune complex, which is the Super 7. There you go, Super 7, the ultimate vitamin, and then the Glutamist. They're formulating that into what's called the Vital for Life, which is a new kind of foundational pack. I just signed up for mine, and when you sign up and you put on something called SmartShip, which is kind of like a subscription
Yes.
process, then you get an even deeper discount.
Okay. All right. So once again, if you all have any questions, please send them over to us, piecesofalice@gmail.com. We are happy to answer your questions. We're back here next week at 8 p.m. on Wednesday with Dr. Philip Zini. I got your name right, Dr. Zini. I said the whole thing. We have Coach Jovi Marie. And you can actually catch Jovi on Fridays. Is that right, Giovanna?
Yes.
Okay. What time?
It's at 6 p.m. Central Time.
And you go to her page and she'll put up a Zoom link so you'll be able to get there, or Reverse Diabetes page. You can go there as well to get the link to join her coaching. If you need,
so it's in the Reversing Type 2 Diabetes Nerds. I know it's a mouthful.
it's a big, right. But if you need her coaching services, she does the group coaching services for free. But then you can come in and she do one-on-ones as well. And then she also has a book too. Is that right, Joe? You got
Yes.
your book so they can see?
I do have it. Give me 1 second.
See what she did, Dr. Phillip? Listen, if anyone interested, if you get on the site and you're like, hey, I love this, I want to do this, you can actually make money with CTFL too. So reach out to me, DM, and I can let you know how you can do that as well. Great income. Is that right, Dr. Phillip?
Amen. And we just came back from, like I said, the launch of the Glutamist product in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And we already have a spectacular team in Mexico. We just launched Mexico in October of last year. And we already have people doing $15,000, $25,000, and $50,000 in volume. So
wow.
huge advances in Mexico. Yeah.
No, wow.
Yeah, so that's going to be Chicago as well. All right, Giovanna, tell us about your book, and then we're going to go ahead and head out.
So the cookbook is Simple Recipes for Diabetic Diet Plan, and it's on Amazon as well under Jovi Marie.
All right, and Dr. Zini, we're going to be talking about. We have one more week. We'll be talking about losing weight, and then we're going to move on to something else for the month of February. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we'll do a wrap up and kind of a high level overview of everything that people can do, and kind of send them off on a journey, if you will, for the rest of the year.
All right. So, and what I want to share with you guys, my favorite out of the CTFO that I have taken is the Shape and Burn. Gives you energy. That Shape and Burn. So take one. It depends on your body. And then in the Extreme Shake, they have the regular, and then they have the protein. So protein, is they say, is supposed to be really, really good for you, help you lose weight as well.
Exactly.
But until then, we will see you next week. I'm Alice, Dr. Philip Zini, and Jovi Marie. We'll all see you next week. Find your fire, be true to who you are, and whatever you do, inspire along the way. That's what each of us are trying to do tonight. Is that right?
That's right.
All right. We're out.
Thank you.
All right. And then